You have a favorite color, a way you laugh, a thing you do when you're nervous. You call all of that your personality. The thing that makes you, you. You didn't choose any of it. In 1920, a psychologist named John Watson made a claim so extreme that his colleagues thought he'd lost his mind. Give me a dozen healthy infants, he said, and I'll shape any one of them into any kind of specialist I choose. Doctor, lawyer, thief. Didn't matter what the parents were. Didn't matter what the child wanted. Watson believed a person was just clay, and the world was the hands doing the shaping. He was wrong about the details, but he wasn't entirely wrong. Before you were old enough to have opinions, you already had them. The tone of voice your parents used when something went wrong, whether your home felt safe or unpredictable, whether love in your house came with conditions attached. Your nervous system was taking notes, building rules, deciding what the world was like before you could even name the world. Psychologists call these attachment patterns, and they follow you. Mary Ainsworth spent years watching how children behaved when their mothers briefly left the room. Some kids waited, some collapsed. Some didn't react at all, not because they were fine, but because they'd already learned that reacting didn't help. Those patterns didn't stay in childhood. They became a template for how you'd handle conflict at 34, how much you'd trust a stranger, whether you'd leave before someone could leave you. But it goes deeper than childhood. Much deeper. In 1979, a psychologist named Thomas Bouchard tracked down pairs of identical twins who had been separated at birth and raised by completely different families. Two men named Jim. Both had dogs named Toy. Both bit their nails. Both had married a woman named Linda, divorced her, and married a woman named Betty. They had never met. Bouchard's Minnesota twin study ran for 20 years, and what it found made the nature side of the argument nearly impossible to dismiss. Personality traits like introversion, aggression, even political leaning, roughly 50% heritable, maybe more. The genes you were handed before you existed already pushed you toward who you'd become. So here is where it gets uncomfortable. The introversion you thought you chose. The way you pull back in arguments. The ambition or the lack of it. Some of that was written into you before you were born. The rest was pressed into you before you knew what pressing was. Which raises the question nobody wants to sit with. If your traits came from your genes and your environment, where exactly did you come in? Neuroscientist David Eagleman puts it this way. You are not the driver. You are a passenger who has convinced themselves they're steering. The brain that makes your choices was shaped by forces that made their choices long before you arrived. And here is the part that should stay with you. Knowing this doesn't make you less real. It makes the question more honest. Because if you didn't fully build yourself, you can also stop blaming yourself for what you've been. And start asking a different question. Not, why am I like this? But given all of this, what do I actually want to become? The personality you have isn't entirely yours. But the one you build next, that part you get to own.